What is going on, everyone? My name is Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology, the Titans action, spawning in the bottom of the map in the red color, playing as Ra. His name is Yoshii, also known as Bird. Bird is the word, and Yoshii is the dinosaur. As far as I'm concerned, that's what's going on here. So we see Yoshii using a cheeky tactic there known as empowering the town center for doubled arrows and then healing his villager back up. Very nice, friendly priest in this game. His opponent today, none other than Rapl. He's playing Poseidon, and I mean, if you don't know Rapl by now, he's one of my favorite players to watch because he actually plays the game a lot. And when he is playing, and not only that, he plays the best players when he can, and not only that, he plays a whole bunch of random. And we are seeing that here. We've got Poseidon versus Ra on, what is this map? None other than, what's it called? Competitive Mega Random. This map we're seeing here is a somewhat of a Frozen Wastes style map, in that there is nothing on the outsides of this map at all, and it's just the map in the middle is where all of the resources are spawned. It's a very, very interesting map here, to say the very least. I got a message I have to look at here, so let me just take a quick pause here. All right, all good. So, what are we going to see in this map? Well, it's a closer map. This town center looks very much like it's cut off, but it's not. So too does this map. From this, you got the way in from the back, no problems. So, super open map here against Ra. A super open on the back with Poseidon. We're going to be having to see a lot of cheeky side builds here, which are going to be incredibly strong. And I'm excited to see what Rapl can do on this map, to see how that's gonna work out. See the house popping up here for Rapl. He's shooting down the elk and all the other good things that kind of come from that. Relics on the map. We have ourselves Pandora's box, the reduction in myth unit training time of 25%. We've got the Shingles of Steel, extra 200% house hit points for all your vanilla civilizations. We have the Eye of Horus S+ tier relic here. It gives yourself 2 extra population per town center. Effectively, with 3 town centers, that's a 6 population advantage over your opponent, which is huge. And finally, the Trios Bow, an extra 2 Archer, Ballister, Caraballister, Line of Sight, and Range. If you ask Lundberg whether you should pick this relic up as the Egyptian, he would say no. But I say, gosh darn it, pick it up because it's fun. All right. Extra range on those. You can talk to Lundberg about why he doesn't like extra range on his Chariot Archers. Big questions to be asked here. Is Yoshii going to be moving forward onto his secondary hunt over here? There's a decent amount of hunt on this base. On this map, we've got ourselves the deer, we've got ourselves the elk, we've got ourselves our home hunt, and a whole bunch of auroch over here as well. So that's going to go really well for Rapl, who's getting himself up through Hermes. So no surprises where that's concerned. Yoshii, on the other hand, going up through Bast. And the house is coming down as well for Yoshii. So a very, very clear fast second town center map here for Yoshii. He's got a perfect town center with a very nice second gold mine at the back of his base. Though, because the map's so open, because of the weirdness of this competitive mega random map, with the way the complete absence of things on the outsides are, it's actually be a really nice one town center fast heroic full cavalry spam type of map here, especially if Rapl decides to go for a fast second town center himself, which I mean is kind of partly the meta here in this game. So we'll see what Yoshii's going to go for. Yoshii's actually decided to go through Bast. Yoshii's actually decided to go through Bast here in this game. He's only got 1 monument up, so it's not going to be the strongest of Bast because he's not going to make too many myth units in this game, but Bast nonetheless does give himself access to the Sphinx and also the ridiculously powerful, completely underappreciated, and borderline overpowered god power Eclipse. This one's giving you extra 50% damage against myth units, or sorry, 50% bonus damage from your myth units, an extra 50% special attack cooldown, 15% hack vulnerability, and more importantly than any of those, an increase in your favor gather rate, which is actually quite significant from memory. As the Sphinx is going to be wandering in here and try and get some villager kills, but there is already Hippolyta over here to defend. Rapl's getting himself his own second town center over here with this nice forest that he can chop down. No worries. And Yoshi's getting himself his own second town center. I've got no tea left. I've made a great many mistakes in this game, in this life. All right, so Yoshii here finishing up on his deer. We'll see if he's going to go for farms. He's chucking down his armory. A lot of the times, the best way to play Ra is to actually not farm in the classical age, if you can help it. If it's possible to not farm, it's like, it would have been better to play Isis in that situation, but if it's possible not to farm and get to the heroic age, you should probably do that most of the time with Ra. And we're going to be seeing Yoshii attempt that a little bit here. He's got a handful of goats he can eat. He's got a lot of villagers going over onto gold here. He's chucking villagers over onto wood as well, finishing up his deer over here. He's got a little bit left in the food where that's concerned. Are we seeing any more Sphinx coming out? Not enough favor just yet. Sphinx returning back home. Second town center up here for Rapl as he's onto the Aurochs, and we do have the classic boom war started here as Rapl. Is he going for a third town center here is the question. Well, he chucks down a stable, safety stable. I actually don't think you should really build units from this until you absolutely need to, especially because if your opponent is going mass cavalry, you actually kind of don't want the Hippocon, you want to go Prodromus. And for the most part, the best time for a Greek player to fight the Egyptian is actually after they've gotten themselves heavy cavalry. Heavy cavalry is a really big power spike against the Egyptian heroic age army as the villagers are making their way over to grab this town center. Yoshii, on the other hand, still not actually advanced. He's throwing up some barracks, playing very defensively here. This is one of Ra's big weaknesses, not really being able to scout. Now, he does have this Sphinx here. He does see his opponent on second town center. If I was Yoshii, probably would have had a keen eye on this and then not thrown these barracks down once he saw those villagers over there. Just making sure you know what's happening. There's a priest coming out of the temple here, going to empower the town center. As you can see, Yoshii having some difficulties with the Pharaoh because he uses one-click garrison. I recommend not to use one-click garrison. Just hold Alt if you want to garrison things. It makes the game much easier to play, in my opinion, in terms of everything. Hippolyta and the center shooting that Sphinx back to the home base here, and the Sphinx will be able to get healed back up. It would seem the center slightly oversteps, and Rapl gets his third town center. This is fairly standard in the meta of the kind of Poseidon versus Ra meta. The problem here for the Poseidon is, especially on this map, you can't get those walls up as you would really like. If he wants to wall, he has to build an incredibly long wall from this location all the way over to here. As we do see the rain getting dropped down from Yoshii here, trying to get all that food income. He spent a lot of gold here on these farms. He's built himself 16 farms here at 70 gold apiece. This is why we say Thal at times. But it's interesting to see, it's interesting to note that the Eclipse will be able to block a ceasefire. So a big timing attack definitely possible here. As more farms going to be coming up, a second monument coming down as well for Yoshii. And we'll see how it's going to happen. Rapl, on the other hand, he's got his armory up. He's got 6 villagers on the gold mine. Not really making any units here. Starting to throw down the stables. Effectively, the idea against Ra, as far as I'm concerned, with Poseidon is throw the stables down, but don't build the units, because you can build them later. You want to be building villages and advancing to the heroic age. The weird thing is that the stables, for the Hippocon especially, is you get a 5-second reduction in train time when you hit the heroic age. So you get those units out faster anyway. So it's just banked resources. in a way, as the villagers are starting to spread out onto these gold mines as best as he can. The walls coming over here just to block off this sides of the map. Very, very different to Frozen Wastes, mind you, where you cannot do this. But this is a lot of gold to be sinking into walls this early into the game, as Rapl does click up through Aphrodite, and Yoshii is on his way through Hathor. There's this Sphinx getting healed up here, and a third monument getting dropped down. Now, this monument here, if we take a look at the difference between all the monuments of the villages is 6 favor per minute. The monument to villages is 4.5 favor, and the priest is 4.98 favor. So you're starting to look at close, if not probably a little bit more than 15 favor a minute, which is almost a Sphinx a minute you can be mustering, which is really, really cool. Or if you start empowering it, you can get even more. As we do see, the Pharaoh going to be dropping this relic in, and Yoshii going to be very happy about the fact that he has got himself the Eye of Horus. Villagers probably for Yoshii want to grab his third town center here, which they're definitely going to go over here and do. Spearmen making their way over here, going to start jabbing away at the villagers of Rapl. He builds a little gate here to get away. There is a very real possibility for a locust there, but Rapl does a nice split, and Yoshii smartly doesn't waste his locust here, as he will be able to pick off one village over here, leaving these walls open while the Migdol stronghold wants to come up here. Town center coming up with a priest over there as well. As we see a cheeky raid. The Sphinx getting dropped as well is actually quite nice, to be honest. Normally you see the Wadget getting dropped, and Wadget Sphinx, kind of fine, but you can drop the Sphinx down and slow the villagers down. See, when you hit him, they get snared a little bit, and it'll slow a whole bunch of them down, as we see the villager not quite being picked off there. No worries, but the town center is up, and both players kind of able to equalize here in this game, as the rock getting shot away. And we'll see how this is going to go. Big Locust getting dropped down in this position. That there is what we call a quality Locust. Yours now for 1,500. You too can have Locust. Pick off 7 villages with the click of a button. And a handful of Sphinx. A handful of Spearmen, I should say. Nice play there from Yoshii, getting that kill off there. Going after the Hippolyta as well. Actually really smart, but with the town center to help, Hippolyta simply just going to be retreating back. And he's going to be able to pick up all of those Spearmen there nicely, as the village is finishing up on this gold mine over here with the market. Are we going to be seeing a relatively quick Mythic Age? Yes. We're going to be seeing Horus, and we're going to be seeing Artemis. Very, very interesting late game matchup here from Yoshii. I love the early Horus. I think early Horus is one of the best ways that Ra can deal with the boomy Poseidon. But you do have to decide where to attack, and oftentimes shifting sands is very necessary. Because you push a fight over here, you send a handful of units or the rock over onto this location. You have all the enemy infantry or military over here, and then you tornado this location. You shifting sands in. You cast ceasefire. You build the town center. That kind of vibe. As we do see a Eclipse getting kind of forced out here, is Yoshii not ready for the earthquake, as he does not want to lose his Horus. He's getting himself fortified town centers. I wouldn't be surprised to see Mason's architects attempt to get grabbed here. The buildings all getting dropped around this town center as best as he possibly can. As the Chimera wandering in onto this position here. No attempt to micro here. Just going to take the damage. He does not have Skin of the Rhino here just yet, and that Chimera is going to get out of there, not taking too much damage at all. 28 seconds until crisis mode begins, but the bag's all about to come through for Yoshii. He's got a lot of favor in the bank, enough to get himself Horus Spearman, I should say Greatest of the 50 and Spear of the Horizon straight away. He has the food gold for it.
Into you.
But all the barracks are up, fortified town centers is down. We've got ourselves a stray Spearman over here ready to cast his tornado over here or something like this. villagers over here on this corner to build the market. Tornado getting dropped on this position over here. We don't see any upgrades for the town center, so it should go down even with all of those buildings around it. And meanwhile, Rapl is just going to bide his time. Maybe he wants to cast Ceasefire and rebuild this. He's just going to cast his Earthquake and dip. Oh, and the town center lives. 1, 2, 3, 4 barracks. 5 barracks get hit. 6 barracks get hit. And the town center lives another day. This is huge for Yoshii. Getting more technologies here. No sun-dried mud brick, but he's going to attempt to repair this one back up as the Polyphemus comes in. Going to be dealing a huge amount of damage to this town center. As the Pharaoh are going to be flinging those boulders, those magic boulders, at the Chimera here. Yoshii runs out of gold at a bit of a crucial period in this game, but Rapl not able to take the town center down, and Yoshii's very happy here. He does send in a handful of units over onto this location, try to take the villages down, but too little too late. The town center will end up getting up. Yoshii maybe a little bit of microed this Avenger. Definitely could have used that to take down these villages a little bit easier, but not able to do so just yet. Market up in the corner here for Yoshii. Very tough to secure this market. You have to build a very long wall from this location here over to this forest into this here. So we'll see if that's going to matter. Not only that, you can also have your opponent move all the way around here to hit the location with some villages or something. So town center getting repaired back up, and we have to move into the next portion of the game. Both players still fairly equal here. Yoshii taking his time. He does have to be kind of aware that while he does have the spearmen are really good against Poseidon, the end stage of this game is Greek player getting him to infantry Heliopolis, and he does not have a real answer for that. Kind of. He does in the spearmen. Spearman Axeman kind of vibes, but it can be tough. Now the siege towers wandering forward. The Chimera are going to be moving around here. We see a Sphinx over here causing some problems. As the Pharaoh are going to be throwing some of those magic boulders over here at the Chimera, but the Hippocon immediately moving in onto this position. These Chimera, are they Chimera tyrants? No, they're not. No special ability available, so not able to pick off all those villages in one foul swoop. Meanwhile, cheeky raids here from Yoshii. I take these villages down as best as they can. He picks off this villager as well. Dead, dead, dead. Everywhere dead. And now we see the raid over here onto the camel caravans as the chaos is ensuing here, ladies and gentlemen. Villagers moving over onto this gold mine. Could be worth it to wall off over here as well, instead of just to this tree. Meanwhile, the Pharaoh are going to chase this one around. Now, we do remember that Yoshii has probably got a lot of favor in the bank, so he can make Avengers to deal with these Chimera. Avengers are a great counter to Chimera. Really not the best unit choice against Horus until, well, they're really good until you see the Avengers, but see the Pharaoh getting taken down as the Chimera is going to clean up all of this over here. And Yoshii is really getting slowed down here as the farm's getting dropped. Yoshii realizing he needs a lot more in the tank here to deal with what Rapl's doing. As Rapl still doesn't have himself up a fortress, but he's dropping one down on the frontier to secure this gold mine. Some Petropolis to push through. Could be really, really strong here. Now the war elephant wandering forward, going to try and take down these heavy Hippocon here as best as they can. The Prodromus are out though. They can be a bit of a nuisance to deal with. As I mean, you kind of just want to go spearman siege here in a way for until you start seeing Hypaspist. Honestly, maybe some chariot archers to bring up the rear, but the Hippocon are going to continue coming over into this position and picking off trade caravans. So we are seeing some cavalry coming in. Trying to take down these champion Hippocon as best as they can. Meanwhile, big push in onto this location here as the Chimera going to try and take down the Catapult. We've got the Avenger over here as well, finally in, but you cannot send the Avenger in to kill a Chimera when there's heroes around. Otherwise, the Avenger will fall. Nice play from Rapl to realize that weakness. And we're starting to see some of those side builds coming in. This is what makes this map really good. Is this portion of the game, before all the walls are really set up, sneaking villages into those corners. We'll see if Yoshii goes for it. You can't really get through here, but there's a nice lake here that's been used to build those walls. Get a transport ship, get in the back here. Could be absolutely brutal. And here's the that Avenger going to town on the Chimera. He's got less HP, but he's still able to pretty much clean the Chimera up. There's another Avenger coming in to finish this one off. And those Chimera are dealt with for the time being here. Because maybe Rapl has to figure out a different way forward. He's not starting to make those Heliopolis. Still not really getting those infantry out. He's kind of already got all of those heavy Toxotes and everything. So you see the siege works getting targeted. We'll see if Rapl is going to take down the fortified town center on it with this Heliopolis. Time to throw some of those beautiful Heliopolis thingamajiggamawats ballastas. But the thing is here, there is a beautiful forest that he could be abusing. But just because it's knocked over like this doesn't mean you can't abuse it. Start shooting some of those Metropolis projectiles over here. Classic. Classic lighthouse. Now remember, whenever you see a lighthouse, you have to click the description and read this here. You have to read this. If you don't read it, you're doing it all wrong. Camel caravans coming out very strong here. Mercenary cavalry coming through to pick off these Heliopolis as best as they possibly can. Right now, Yoshii's he's actually struggling for production. I'm not sure why. He's got plenty of buildings out, but he's not really producing anything from them. He might be saving up for something. Maybe saving up for a Titan Age, something more important, getting more Avengers out. He's just not producing units here. There's the Pharaoh Priests over here trying to take down those Chimera. More Heliopolite trying to push in here as best as they can. And there's that wall we were talking about to kind of block his trade route up, make sure it's nice and safe here. Yoshii's got so many resources in the back, I don't know what he's saving up for. Like right now, just all spin would be completely fine to push through this army, but it's not happening. I don't know what's happening. What's he trying? Oh, he's making some spearmen over here. They are only medium spearmen, I guess. I honestly don't know what to say. Like, maybe Yoshii's AFK? The Heliopoli are starting to make this town center look very close to falling. Yep. Nice play here from Rapl. He's managed to take advantage of Yoshii not training units. Now, Yoshii's really spending all his resources. I'm not sure exactly on what. It's the Spearman over here. I'm getting picked off, trying to build some towers on this position. Maybe get onto this town center at the back. Something like that. But Yoshii has managed to build this lighthouse. And one thing the lighthouse does do is allow him to see all around here. Why not? Why not build the lighthouse? Doesn't cost anything. 300 gold only. Yoshii's trade route is gigantic here. There's the Chimera coming over, going to take down some of these champion cavalry. See some towers coming up here. Rapl's going to be kicking himself if he can't keep this town center down. Just trying to move forward and take down these barracks as well. Yoshii's trying to figure out what he's doing, but I'm not sure. Got some Toxotes swinging around to try and take down these towers. Man, if you can get a couple of Toxotes past it, just send some villagers in. You gotta go.
Good.
The thing is that Rapl's economy is struggling here. He's only got the 1 gold mine left. Oh no, he's got 2 gold mines left. His trade route's kind of only just starting, so his economy's not as big as he would like. He definitely can't support everything. Yoshii can just spam out those mercenary cavalry. I'm still not sure what's happening. He's going for some raids. Handful of chariot archers getting in here. The thing is here, if Yoshii sends his pharaoh over here, he can shoot this town center up really fast with a handful of villagers. He's just trying to get these towers up, but the Prodromus say no. Still surprised what I don't know exactly. I still don't know exactly what Yoshii's plan is here.
Getting.
I've got a stray pelt test. You build the counter unit, but the counter unit's still not strong enough to pick off the chariot archers. It's classic Age mythology. Oh, and is this the bait we've been waiting for? The classic ceasefire town center grab here. He does move in. There's the town center and the ceasefire. Click. No. Not yet. And after this trade route as best as he possibly can. As the villagers getting sniped down by those chariot archers, the villagers all making their way in here. Rapl might not notice this. The Chimera are going to turn around, going to do a ton of damage here. Will we see that ceasefire or not is the big question. It seems like he is not going to go for it. The villagers will basically all die here to the Chimera as he's going to try and get this town center up. There's the town center got back down for Rapl. Rapl's like, gotta kill the 1600 HP lighthouse. It's so important. Rapl still 0 resources in the bank here at this point. Going for some side builds. A little bit of a rest for his economy here. Get that town center up. He does have to be careful. He's bringing a couple more villagers in. He's got 9 here. He will have access to all of these farms as well. You take these by individually converting them into your own farms. It takes a little bit of time, but you can take all of these for yourself. Don't have to spend the wood on them. Have a lot more food economy. Whenever you go up to 4 town centers, a lot of the time you need to overdo your economy as well. So that means you got your 80 villages and normally around your 20 to 30 donkey caravans. It means it's probably better to go up to about 30 or 40 donkey caravans, probably more on the 40 side of things, just to support everything. But that, especially if you don't have all of your technologies through it as well. But now Yoshii's going to be throwing up his walls here. I'm sure he's going to have ideas of catapults, towers around this location. He's got a metric shit ton of gold. Like, he's got 4,500 gold in the bank. He's like, Rapl, I see you need some resources. Do you want some? Do you want some? Rapl's like, yeah, I want some resources. I don't got any. Oh, and we do have the Hatairoi coming in. Do they have any cool upgrades? No, they do not. Here we go on after this fortified town center now. Hatairoi are great and all, but Yoshii's got infinite resources, so he should be able to defend that with towers or something, if he notices it or not. But he's actually still focused 100% over on this location. We'll see, will the villagers turn around? They will start taking this fight, throwing up some guard towers here, as the town center is taking a ton of damage. There is not enough Hatairoi here just yet to stop that one, as the Polyphemus comes in, bashes down the wall. And what's Yoshii trying to do? He's making a couple of catapults over here. We do have the Heliopolis coming over here to stop the trade route, but Yoshii's got gold for days for the time being. Though that gold does go very quickly here. Rapl still building Hatairoi. 4 stables worth of a Tyro here. And for the moment here, Rapl's held this town center fairly nicely, but Yoshii's got the wall up. One wall is sometimes enough to take a town center down. And we'll see how he's going to go. Can he throw some towers up, defend this location, or not? Yoshii has to click on the town center for one, but not happening just yet. Now, you do have to remember, Yoshii is one of, if not the best, deathmatch player kind of ever. Now, you can have a debate about Nakamura, Magic, all of that, a couple of other older deathmatch players, but in recent memories, Yoshii's been winning all those deathmatch tournaments. And if he can get this town center back and have a fairly clean late game with the Egyptians, he knows what to do. And he's going to be a terror for Rapl to deal with, as this town center is getting taken down very, very fast here, as Rapl is not quite 100% sure how to finish this game, but he is going for the jugular here, ladies and gentlemen, straight after that home town center. See how he's going to take that down. We've got the Heliopolis going after the temple, and there's the first of a very, very terrifying presence, which is towers on the trade route of your opponent. This is the best place. The most value towers you can put are on your opponent's trade route. This is just going to continuously get value. You see the house is getting taken down over here. Rapl still keeping his resources very low, but while this is happening, big counter raid coming in from Yoshii, going after the trade of Rapl. Yoshii's got to have some sort of inkling that Yoshii's low, also that Rapl is low on gold, because he is going straight for that trade with those units as best as he can. Town center is back up to full HP, making mercenary from all of the town centers here as the guard tower is getting taken down. But we have seen that Rapl has lost his town center, and Yoshii is well and truly back into the game here. Rapl has allowed the light towers to come back, to stay up 100%. A huge mistake here from Rapl, and Yoshii is going to make him pay. He's going after that trade route. He's going after everything, hitting all of those positions nicely. All the markets getting thrown up here from Yoshii. He's like, yeah, whatever. I'm just going to throw up $1 billion. If you want to kill off a couple, that's fine. But never going to be an issue ever again. Now, Rapl has to figure out, well, how do I stop Yoshii from getting this town center back effectively? Again, he can just have like one Petropolis here with a wall around it, but not really what's happening. Bringing some villagers back over here to try and deal with these units going after his trade. See how he can go with this one here. Rappel's got a lot of gold in the bank here, so he can probably do with losing a little bit of trade until he gets that town center back. And now Yoshii getting his town center back up. A very scary time now. Yoshii's resources have actually dropped and plummeted from where they once were. He was at, what was it, 4,500 gold for a hot minute there. Now he's down to next to none because of all of the raids here. That one tower with the big push into the middle here has really slowed Yoshii down. So too is Rapl being slowed down, so they both have to rebuild that trade route. But Yoshii's got next to no villages on food. He's only got 16 at the moment. He was only on 12. So he's rebuilding villages. He's making trade. He's not making trade. He's not really making trade, but he's making his villages back. Still spamming those mercenary cavalry out. So Rappel's got every opportunity here to continue very, very strongly in this game. We'll see if see if Yoshii can utilize what limited economy he has here to make it work. As the Hippocon coming over here to hit these villages on the wood lines. Heliopolis taking down these houses as best as they possibly can. And Rapl is slowly pushing forward. He doesn't have this technology, which is, well, he's got half of it. He doesn't have the carrier pigeons. I was going to say this doesn't seem like it, but doing a nice job spotting all of the map. Very important to get those carrier pigeons out and see what you can do where that's concerned. The villagers getting pulled off of this location here as the chariot archers hitting some raids, preventing that gold mine from getting mined. Rapl probably shouldn't care that much about this gold mine. He still has the trade route. Yes, he took a little bit of a beating where that's concerned, but it's completely fine now. There's more Hippocon coming forward, going to be moving in, trying to take more of Yoshii's trade route out, as he knows exactly where it's traveling through. The trade is yet again not started. So, a bit of an issue where that's concerned. The spearmen are out. He does have himself a spear on the horizon. does not have himself greatest at 50, so he doesn't have that bonus damage against the cavalry here, as the Hippocon going to be retreating away. The Chimera does not do enough damage there where that's concerned. Now we've got Metropolis pushing in here, Polyphemus as well, as Rapl's economy is still holding true here, as we do see a handful of units and a mercenary infantry that does get taken out as Yoshii pushes back in to hit the trade route yet again. These units still pushing forward, trying to deal with this one. We will be seeing the Petropolis getting taken down very slowly with the chariot archers taking it out, but nonetheless it will fall. 4 HP remaining as Rapl has to pull back. Do you see any attempt at coming onto this location? Not just yet. I mean, Rapl's just... I'm still not sure exactly what he's trying to do. Normally when you're trying to push in onto an opponent's Egyptian's town center, just build some towers, get crenellations, makes the mercenary cavalry kind of useless. And also the population problem goes down the drain. You can say, well, mercenary are really strong because they cost no population. Your opponent can go over their pop count effectively. And you go, well, they can only go in one area. You can build towers, which also have no population. So you have an option to take them down. And there's Yoshii getting his extra 2 population back again, but he's at 103 of 166 population. He does have himself 30 villages on favor now, so he can start that trade route back up, but he's choosing to not do that here. Meanwhile, see a stray barracks coming down for Yoshii. I love these cyborgs. This is what I imagined when I saw this map, but we haven't really seen it here. Some random houses down in this corner as well, as the spearmen do manage to get over here. Still no greatest of the 50 through for Yoshii, but is he still making himself Avengers? Yeah, he's just making Avengers. He's got 3 Avengers through here, but we do have Atlanta, Theseus, and Hippolyta here to take them down fairly quickly. And now you have siege engineers through for Rapl. He's going to be making a nice amount of work here onto this town center with that technology, but no walls up just yet means the siege engineered catapult will get taken down fairly easily. Now we've got Yoshii on this gold mine. Realizes he needs a little bit more gold here to keep him in the game. It's up to 151 of 166 population, getting closer and closer to a decent position in this game. As the spearmen going to continue to come through over here. Yoshii waiting on gold to put up another barracks over here. We do see that her pessimist has spotted this one. The villager in the middle of nowhere though, ready to throw up more as this game is going to continue. But the position that Rapl's got here is really, really annoying for Yoshii to deal with. I think Rapl's struggling for resources himself now, so he's going to be able to deal with it at some point here, it seems. As more Petropolis going to come through, you have to be careful with these Petropolis when you're such low resources, because otherwise they just get taken down. Very free resources you don't want to be throwing away here. As the catapult just kind of moves to the back of the map here. And the chariot just taking down these units over here. The Toxoid is going down. This could be annoying as well, getting onto this trade route over here. Nice play to get in there as the spearman popping out over here. He's got a handful of spearmen. Nice play from Yoshii going after the trade route yet again, which is handfuls of units being very, very annoying in this game, as the Petropolis now back onto the town center, but still not very safe at all, as Hippolyta moving forward, trying to get some good damage onto the Avenger. Nice marker from Yoshii to keep that one away. He's at 166 of 166 population. Still no effort at taking down this town center, but this town center is 1600 HP remaining here as the Atlanta wanders in. We'll try and take down the Avenger. Kind of going to be retreating away. She does have that speed advantage, so that can always be fairly decent. And there is a terrifying composition here which Rapl is trying to construct, which is effectively Watchtower, Toxoid, Petropolis. It's one that we don't see very often. It's very hard to actually make it work, but once you get all the towers set up as well as the walls, it's very hard to push through it. But he doesn't have the towers up just yet, and those mercenary cavalry are going to town on Rapl's army here. And now Rapl's at 138 of 160 population, so he's very much struggling for population in this game. You're still seeing those markets trying to build donkey caravans here, as the spearmen are able to pick off a handful of donkey caravans, really slowing down that gold income, just consistently slowing it down. This is beautiful play from Yoshii as he's trying to turn this game on its head. See if he can actually make an effort to go after the back town center over here. Yes, there's some walls here, but a siege works. One siege tower pushed through here, get some building spam getting thrown up over here, sort out this town center a little bit. Could be absolutely huge. And Yoshi's starting to float some gold as well, so he's definitely got the opportunity to do that as the buildings are starting to slowly get cleaned up here. More spearmen coming in here as well. And I think one of the things you'll notice from Yoshii is he doesn't have a lot of buildings with auto queue in this late game. He's only got a handful of buildings with auto queue. And what that means is he's going to continually be able to keep up his spam in a location where the units are dying, but it also means he can manually queue out a handful of spears from this location or from this location, send some units to over there. He doesn't have his siege really on auto queue either. He wants to build it where he wants to build it. It's very important in the late game to not over rely on auto queue, because you're not going to be able to shift the battlefield easily, and that's what makes Yoshii so good in this game, especially in the late game. As Rapl's stronghold here has been completely shut down due to Yoshii's consistent raids over onto this location. Let's send the siege tower in, trying to take down the market, but picking off a market does reveal 4 very, very angry little pike boys. And this second market won't go down, but Yoshii making some groundwork here as he's going to take down another archery range over here. Chariot archers making their way straight through, not so much caring about the fact that there's a town center here dealing some damage. So he should be fine. Going to come over and pick off even more donkey caravans here. Now Rapl's got a handful of resources in the bank, and Yoshii is back to next to 0 food yet again. These villagers over here could definitely do with pushing over here. He is realizing that, throwing up a Migdol stronghold on this position. Chariot archers going after the donkey caravans fairly quickly here. On 2 separate locations it seems, but a handful of units are coming over here to clean these ones up. Yoshii is so good at this. He's like, all right, you clicked on these units here. I'm going to retreat these elsewhere, and you're going to have to chase them all across the map. As these chariots come over here, maybe try and take down these Toxotes, but not going to be able to do it just yet. As the Polyphemus holding strong over here. Rapl is at 160 population. Yoshii is at 150 population, so still kind of a weird situation to be in here. As I don't think that Yoshii's quite stabilized, but he is consistently harassing Rapl out of this game. You see the stable getting torn down. Rapl going to be moving back in with his army, trying to take down the catapult and everything else. And now we've got the scariest unit you'll ever see. The rock. 2 rocks, in fact. Why not? If one rock is scary, surely 2 rocks is pretty good as well. If 2 rocks are pretty good as well, surely 3 rocks are a true menace. He's only got the one 4. If 3 rocks are a true menace, then 4 rocks are truly what Batman intended. Alright, so Spearmen coming through here to try and deal with all of these Toxotes. Now, Spearmen, a little known fact, Spearmen are one of the best infantry at actually picking off archers. You'd think that archers beat infantry, beat cavalry, but actually infantry do beat archers as well. It's just that you don't normally see infantry able to attack the archers, so that the archers can deal a lot of damage from afar, and they get they're able to deal more DPS. But because the spearmen have got 5.0 speed, they get onto the archers and they can start picking them off very, very quickly. So you do need to have some sort of body block for your archers to deal with infantry. Which is why a lot of the times you can get away with like mass infantry against compositions that you wouldn't expect to be able to have them work there. Now Rapl having to restart his trade somewhere. Is he building a market elsewhere? I just draw up in this corner and go to this market. like this town center. If this was causing me to lose a game, I'd be like, alright, I'm just not going to go to that corner anymore. Yoshii is really adamant that he's not allowing that there. You see 2 catapults coming in now as he's going to be looking for those rock raids. Funnily enough, the rock was actually not necessary because he could have snuck through here anyways. He's got a couple of villagers over here finished off this wall. Spearman raids coming through. Has Rapl realized that this is happening or not? Does he have his Hippolyta anywhere to be seen? What's the hotkey for Hippolyta? S. That's not going to tell me. It's not going to tell me. I don't know. I think he doesn't have it out. But where are we heading? Where is Yoshii heading? Another rock on the way. It's a very, very slow rock. So a lot of population that you're having idle just sitting here as Rapl is pushing back in onto this position. He loves this spot. Chimera getting taken out over here. The Pharaoh flinging some stones, doing their best to take down these Chimera. Yoshii now throwing up some barracks over here. Really attempting to shut down this trade route slowly but surely as the rock's coming over. And he's even got a handful of units here to pick off those pesky villagers. Yoshii trying to do the animation cancel. I don't actually think that the animation cancel works here. Kind of. He saves a handful of seconds by doing this. I think you can do this much faster on Extended Edition, but on Voobly it's a little bit less. As he takes the town center down, and now Rapl is down to 2 town centers, and Yoshii is really causing some issues, but a counter push coming through here from Rapl. Towers getting thrown up. The mercenary getting started yet again. Rappel's got all the buildings here he needs. Starting to get himself medium axeman as well. He can spam the units out here if he wants to hold on to this, but a couple of towers, a little bit of walls. This town center could go down. Rappel's at a 140 to 140 population though, and his trade route has been shut down. So he has to restart that as well. He does manage to click the vast majority of those donkey caravans back to work. The town center here of Yoshii getting taken down. The catapults now moving in, going to take down the guard tower, but Hippolyta is out here, ready to start shooting down the rock. As Yoshii sends a handful of villagers in to grab this town center room. So we've got 16 villagers here to get this town center up. And if he gets it up, it is lights out for Rapl. He's got nowhere to go in this game if he's having to deal with a 180 something. Because remember, Yoshi's got himself that relic, 188 population Ra here. This town center is getting very close to falling. Might have to start repairing it. That's exactly what he's going to do. But the guard towers are up. Don't see too many siege weapons just yet. Got the siege tower and the catapult coming out of here. The town center is up, and Yoshii can start stealing these farms as he's going to do exactly that. The catapult's all getting taken out. We've got a Polyphemus coming over here to try and take this town center down. Guard tower is getting thrown down as well. Will Yoshii be able to spam some mercenary over here? He's got to get some units out as he has decided to do just that. We've got the siege tower coming through. We've got the catapult in here as well to take down these guard towers as best as he possibly can. As the Chimera doing his darnest. We see the Pharaoh getting taken out here. Yoshii getting those towers up as fast as he possibly can, but the mercenary here to hold on. Rapl here about to write the longest RTS Sanctuary thread of his life about how broken Ra is, as Yoshii has somehow managed to come back in this game from seemingly absolute defeat here. He is in an insane position after being so close to death. All of those cheeky little raids that he's been doing through this game are exactly what makes Age of Mythology one of the best RTS games ever made. The fact that you can do that for the entirety of the game is so insanely good. And Yoshii going to continue to push through. And not only that, the fact that you can build this building and just enjoy life is so, it's just magic. It's just magic. Just, again, just read what the best usage of this building is and just sit there and enjoy it. As we see the siege weapons pushing in, taking the fortress down here.
Gary.
Chariot archers doing some good damage from behind, and effectively now Yoshii just has to solidify this, get up to 188 population. He's rebuilding villages from nearly everywhere. These villagers can get back to work on the farms. He's going to be making more trade caravans as well, ever so slowly. Stray chariot archers can come over and hit this. He can make some spearmen out of these barracks yet again if he so chooses. Rapl, he's got 128 population left, and in the 47th minute, the 45nd of this game, he does decide to tab out Yoshii. What an insane game here, able to basically win the game by building 2 lighthouses. And when it comes down to it, 1 lighthouse wasn't enough. He needed 2 in order to take down the might that was Rapl's Poseidon here, and the fact that he was able to build those 2 lighthouses and snatch victory from the jaws of defeat. That's not what the saying goes, but that's what it was. The big reason Yoshii got this dub here. If you guys enjoyed this game, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next game.